Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Molly Pope Art. This is a tutorial on how to paint daffodils. I planted these daffodils last fall and they are coming up and gorgeous. So I wanted to do an updated version of how to paint daffodils. I have a how to draw daffodils video that was posted last week, and also you can go to my Pinterest page at Molly M. Pope and you will find a how to draw daffodils if you would like to begin there. So what I'm doing on this first petal is I am base coating the darker areas in the petal with yellow ochre. That is a deeper golden yellow, and it makes a really beautiful shading color for your petals. So you will see that each of the petals gets the deeper colors base coated in the shadow areas with the yellow ochre. Now, daffodil petals are really beautiful and I should say, there are lots of hills and valleys in each of the petals, and the yellow ochre makes a really beautiful shadow color. And the mid-range color for the petals is just a cadmium yellow medium color, and that is going to be used on the areas of the petals where they would start to be rounding up. So basically those are the areas that would be higher than the yellow ochre areas, and they would use like that part of the area of the petals would be, the sunlight would be hitting them a little bit better because they are higher up. So you want that area to be brighter. So again, use the yellow ochre, or I'm sorry, the cadmium yellow medium on those areas that would be a little bit higher. So, and you're going to continue that process for each of the 6 petals that are on a daffodil flower. Now, with your painting, since you've already based each petal, the darker areas with the yellow ochre, the cadmium yellow medium is a sheer color. So most of your yellows are going to be sheer. That's just the pigments that make up yellows tend to be sheer. So when you base your darker areas with that yellow ochre color, when you're going over that area with the cadmium yellow medium, you're going to find that you still see that deeper color underneath. So it already sort of blends out and softens those areas between the dark and the lighter yellow just beautifully with minimal effort. So you're going to continue adding those same 2 colors and base coating each of your petals. Again, just the cadmium yellow, medium yellow is the second color you lay down. The first color, the yellow ochre gets added to all of the shadow areas on your petals. So the middle part of the daffodil, it's called a trumpet, the little cup shape that sits on the flower. So you want to have a little bit of a shadow area around the cup in the center of the flower. So you can see where I've added the yellow ochre. Basically, I made sure to put that yellow ochre around the cup area. and around the edges of the petals, and then where the petals would have some folds and some hills and valleys is what I like to describe the little insets on the petals. The highlight color for these petals, you can see I just mixed up sort of a really bright creamy lemon yellow by using some titanium white mixed with the cadmium yellow medium. And it just adds another layer of a bright highlight to the flowers over the cadmium yellow medium color. So all of these petals were basically painted with just 3 colors. It's so easy. I know you can do it. If you have any questions, you can always ask them in the comment section. And again, basically all of the 6 petals that surround the outer portion of the daffodil: yellow ochre, cadmium yellow medium, and some titanium white mixed in. So 3 colors basically. So simple. I know you can do this. So you can see that painting the corona, it has just as many little folds and hills and valleys as the petals do. So basically you're just kind of doing the exact same thing around those hills and valleys. You want to make sure that the top of those hills would be a brighter color, more of a highlight, and the areas that would be lower, sort of the lower portions of those petals, the inset areas, would be deeper. So I'm using a little small liner brush to go around the edges of all of those, of the trumpet, on all those little hills and valleys, and just sort of deepening them with the vermilion. It'll really help to make those areas sort of pop out by refining those edges, cleaning them up a little bit, and making everything more defined. You'll also want to go around the outer edges of the corona, outside of the trumpet lines, and go back to using the yellow ochre, and again just sort of refining those areas, those shadows a little bit more, and sort of cleaning up the yellow portion of the petals and using that fine little detail brush. Now I also mixed up a stronger highlight with the white and went back and hit those sort of higher areas with a brighter mix of the titanium white mixed with the cadmium yellow medium. Now I'm also going back in and refining the area of the trumpet, the corona area, by just using the yellow ochre, a strong mix of that, and sort of cleaning up those areas and edges. Now the center of the daffodil, the very center of that trumpet area, is green at its center. A lot of times you'll see the sun sort of shining through that cup area. So this middle area is mixed with the light olive green, a little tiny bit of the hooker's green around the outer edge, and even a little bit of the cadmium yellow medium washes in the middle. Now, there's also in the very inset, in the very middle of the trumpet, there are little stigmas and little green filaments that sort of grow out of the middle. If you have the opportunity to look at a real daffodil, you'll kind of see, I use macro photography a lot of times for my reference material. So if you just Google macro daffodil photography, you'll see what I'm talking about, and you'll get some good reference images for the center of the daffodil. So I outlined all of those little filament areas with the a mix of hooker's green, and I actually used a little bit of vermilion. So it gets sort of a nice dark olivey green to outline. And you'll see here in a second, I did the entire middle of the flower, and once I finished, I stepped back and really sort of looked at my finished painting, and I realized that I had drawn the middle of the flower too small. So I make lots of mistakes in my work, and you should know that it's absolutely fine to make mistakes in your work. That's how you learn. Even as you advance and you sort of perfect your skill at drawing and painting, you still make mistakes. So I actually I went back after the daffodil was completely finished being painted, and once I realized I made my mistake, I went back and refilmed the middle portion of me fixing the middle of the trumpet on this daffodil. So I wanted you to see that, yes, even I make mistakes in my work, and you can see how I corrected them. So I just added that film back in the middle of this video. So it's really important to know that, yes, it's okay to make mistakes. They're absolutely fine, and I make lots of them. So here's the updated version of me fixing the middle of my daffodil. And I just went back in and sort of repainted out those middle areas where the filament and the stigmas were, and just made them larger. They just needed to be larger in the middle to make more sense and to fit that middle space of the trumpet, the cup area of the trumpet. And I used a lot more of the hooker's green in the middle to sort of outline and to go around that filament area so that it still seems like that area is inset and there's some depth in the middle, in the center cup area of that trumpet, of that daffodil. So I do hope you give this a try. If you have not followed my channel, please like and subscribe so that you can be notified when I add more content. So I'm about at the portion, I'm adding a little bit more highlight to the petals. Sometimes it helps to let those areas dry down a little bit to get a really nice bright highlight. If you keep adding highlight over the top of a too wet area, you just make yourself frustrated because it doesn't really stick to the paper or to the canvas, whatever it is you're painting on. So I like to let things dry down a little bit once I've painted them, and then go back in and add my final highlight once everything is kind of dried down. And you can see sort of what a difference that makes in adding those highlight areas to the paint that's dried down a little bit. And I'm now beginning to work on the stem area on this daffodil. I did a central stem, and you can see how I drew that. It has a little bit of a curve to it, kind of comes from the center and curves down to the left a little bit. And there are two little leaves in this artwork also. And again, don't forget, you can go to my Pinterest page and Molly M. Pope, and you can get the free download on how to draw your daffodil first. And I will add a link in the description portion of this video so that you can just easily click the link and go to my Pinterest page and get that drawing. There's actually a few pages on that Pinterest page on how to do how to draw daffodils. So I hope you go there and print those out and follow along. And basically the wash area for the daffodils is the hooker's green, and I mixed, you know, the darker areas, the shading color was mixed with the vermilion, and the mid-range color is the light olive green. And it just kind of, I'm drawing basically vertical lines down the stems and down the leaves, and then just washing over the top of that with the light olive green. And the area of the stem right underneath the head of the flower, there's sort of like a papery covering that goes over that area, and I just accomplished painting that by using a light wash of titanium white. So again, I hope you like this tutorial. Please like and subscribe for more content. I do appreciate you spending your time with me. Thank you so much. Enjoy.